All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how I was able to win a trade and actually use my strategy that I've been using for the past couple of years to profitably swing trade the Forex market. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of tips that you can use to increase your win rate and actually make your trading better and more profitable. I'm also going to go ahead and show you one of the trades that I'm actually in right now in the live markets. I'm not sure if it is going to play out or not, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. But with that being said, let's get straight into today's video. It's been a little bit since I last posted a YouTube video. I've just been, doing a lot of stuff, having fun, going out. In my free time, I've been also starting some businesses on the side and, just enjoying the trader lifestyle, just really enjoying the free time that you get, especially in swing trading. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, so right now I have about 3 pairs on my watch list here. I have NZD-CHF, Euro USD, and Euro JPY. So Euro JPY was the trade that I took last week. I ended up making about $15,000 on it, 14.8 actually after all commissions and fees. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now the exact price that I got in and out of. So right here, 435 was the price that I got in at, and I got out at around 300. So 176.300. So over 100 pips, 113.5 pips caught on this move right here. 14.8 thousand after all commissions and fees. So, not bad at all. That was actually the only trade that I took in all of last week. I was looking for more trades to take. Let me go ahead and pop this up on the screen right here. But the markets didn't really give me another opportunity. So I decided to settle for this one. And since it was already such a nice profit, there's nothing wrong with just closing out a week with a win. With just one win, I'm swing trading. I'm taking 1 to 2 trades a week, sometimes 3 if it's a really good week. But for the most part, this is what allows me to keep my risk management so intact. This is what allows me to not have to have big losing weeks. Because even if I take a loss, let's say I'm risking 2% per trade and I lose one trade for 2% in the entire week, okay, that's only a minus 2% week. But let's say I take a win on Tuesday and then it plays out for a 1 to 2.4 risk to reward ratio. And then, I end up making 5%, right? Because I'm risking 2%, 2 times 2.5 is 5%. I mean, all of a sudden now I'm up 5%. So even if I take another trade and then that other trade also wins, then I'm up 10% for the week. But if the second trade loses, then I'm actually still up. Because if the second trade loses and I made 5% on the first one and then I lose 2%, then I'm still up 3% for the week at a 50-50 win rate. And this strategy can definitely get you a 50% win rate or more if you use it correctly and use it accordingly at the times that you should be using it and you should be trading. And that's kind of what I want to touch on this video. I want to make sure that you guys are using the strategy correctly and at the right times. So what made this make sense on Euro JPY? Because the daily time frame, it had more of a bullish trend. And actually right now, as you see, after take profit got hit down here, we actually continued to go bullish. So we did continue to go in the overall direction to the upside, but I did see the daily time frame slowing down here. So I saw price starting to slow down here massively. And then on the 4-hour time frame, so as you see right here, we had a lower high starting to form on the 4-hour time frame. And this is a really clear indication that the market is going to start to go to the downside. It doesn't mean that a bearish trend is confirmed. And I think unless the market is actually trading below the moving average, it's not a confirmed bearish market. But if I head into the 2-hour time frame, this is where you actually see the shift starting to occur. And I took the sell after price had broken below this 4-hour or below this 50 moving average, which on the 4-hour, it was coming into it. But at the time of my entry, price was right around that moving average. However, on the 2-hour, price was well below, and it was actually using it as an area of resistance. So, that's when you can align certain factors, like you have lower highs, you have the market starting to slow down on the daily time frame. And if I could zoom in here, I'll show you what that means. All right, so For example, yes, this bullish candle right here was still a pretty strong bullish candle, but it had a pretty big wick to the top. And then the second candle was unable to break that high. And you can tell that when this happens, chances are you're going to at least get a pullback. It does not mean that the daily time frame is going to completely change direction. But you know what? This trade proves you don't need the entire trend to change in order for you to catch a winning trade. If you enter in at the right time and you have your lower time frames, in this case, the 2 hour and the 4 hour, showing you something that makes sense, you can still profit. So we had this high, this was the main high up there. And then you had the first lower high and the second lower high. So it was definitely a continuous showing of lower price action. And of course, you also have your lower lows, right? So you have this low, which is the first major low. And then you have this one. So that's the first lower low. And then you have another lower low down here. So after I saw kind of a small pullback into this area of resistance right around the 177.700, price also did reject a little bit here. And all in all, I wanted to enter in the closest possible to this moving average, because I know if we enter in close to this moving average, what's going to happen? It's going to use it as dynamic resistance. That's what tends to happen a lot of the time. And I find that if I enter in at the moving average, even if I'm incorrect about the overall direction, I will still profit and I will still have a chance to at least minimize my loss if the market were to reverse and continue to the upside in this case right here. But as you see, the market did continue down. And as I showed you guys, the trade here, the actual live trade that I took, the exit was not all the way down at my full take profit, unfortunately, because I had to exit out of this trade early just so I could follow my plan. So for me, when the market gets really close to my take profit, it literally came like, more than 90% of the way there. So it was more than 90% to my take profit. I did not want to give up all of that profit and have my trade come all the way back up to my break even. I was not going to let that happen, especially because it's kind of like a counter trend trade. But just in general, I don't like it to happen because that messes with your emotions a lot. And for me, I found that, that can affect my mindset. So I'm not going to go ahead and let that happen. So what I'll do is I have a process where when that happens, I'm going to place a limit order. A limit order. In this case, I put a limit to exit my full position right around 300. And, price did hit that area. So if you see on this 1 hour time frame, I saw this candle starting to form right here. And I placed my stop loss, in this case, my stop loss in profit right at 300. And then it shortly after got hit. The market then, had only a small pullback where I was expecting the pullback to potentially be larger towards this moving average. And then it actually came down, tapped straight into my initial take profit area, my full target, which is right at 176, a strong psychological level. Right before immediately bouncing all the way back up and eventually continuing bullish. So as you see, I had a very good area to take profit, a very good area. I didn't catch the full thing. I could have made 30 more pips on this trade right here. With the lot size that I was using, that would have been a pretty significant amount of money additional, but I'm not going to worry because there was no way I could have known that was going to happen. All in all, this was a very successful trade, and hopefully you guys were able to learn the main ideas of how I was able to catch it. Now, let me show you guys a trade that I'm in right now. I'm in Euro USD buys, and I'm going to break down why I'm in this buy. I'm going to post this regardless of what happens, so I have no idea if this is going to play out or not. Most of my trades, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if I lose, if I win, because I'm so confident in my process now that I know long term, it's just going to win. It just wins. So I'm going to show you right now how much I'm in profit. So right now I'm in profit 3.3K on this, entered in at 738. So I didn't enter in at the price you see here, which, it is what it is, but got in a little bit higher. So what made me decide to take this trade? Well, it's actually a very nice trade now that I'm looking at it again. We had a consistent bearish market. So I'm going to form lower highs. Boom. All of these highs are lower than one another. This is a very beautiful market structure. And what I mean by that is that it's consistent, it's predictable, and it's clear and clean to see. You can easily visualize what this market structure was doing when it was going bearish. So this has overall been a pretty bearish market. You see that market structure right there. And then we had something that, could have indicated the first shift. At this point in the market structure, it has not been confirmed bullish yet, but it does start to show us a possible shift. And then once we have this higher low and then this higher high, then it's confirmed that we're bullish. And then we're also trading above the moving average on this 2-hour time frame. And then we continue to go higher and higher. I was watching this, I was waiting. Literally, as this was going up, I was saying, okay, the second that this pulls back, I'm gonna be in buys. The second it comes back, I'm gonna enter in a long position. And that's exactly what I did. I literally entered in today, kind of preemptively, but I knew we were gonna have a strong reaction off of that moving average. Remember what I said in the last trade. Every time you enter in close to this 50 MA on the 2-hour time frame in a trend, it's gonna play out, because even if it goes down, you have a chance now in profit to manage this trade. In terms of my TP, I'm gonna go ahead and target 116,500 because it's a nice round number. And it's also close to this major area of resistance between 116,500 and 116,700. But why would I target 700 when there's a chance that we may reject at 500? I may as well play it safe, catch my 1 to 2.4 risk to reward and call it a day. NZD-CHF, this is a pair that I was looking at very closely and I wanted to take sells on this, but I was not able to catch my entry because the market just simply did not pull back into the area that I wanted to take my sell at. So I wanted to take a sell right here. It didn't pull back there. So I think right now what we may see is a continuation to the downside. I'm very confident on this pair continuing down because of the higher time frames. Look at the higher time frames. This is the daily chart. We've been going down for months and we have strong bearish candles. It's not like we've been going down and now the market is losing momentum. No, it's not showing any signs of losing momentum. If anything, it's going to keep pushing straight down. So hopefully this video was valuable to you guys and hopefully you guys learned something that is going to improve your trading. If you guys are interested in trading with me, having access to live calls, one-on-ones, and actually getting mentored by me, then check the link in my description below. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.